Welcome to another episode of Mr. Therapist and the Counselor Podcast. We are your guide towards personal recovery, whether you're dealing with an addiction, a mental health issue, or you're just trying to figure some stuff out in life. We empower your growth through candid conversations and demystifying the process of therapy. I'm Manny Romero. Jesse O.
This week on Time Sessions, we process The Man, Part 2. We discuss friendships.
That's right. Make sure you subscribe. Share the show if you find some value. Let's hit it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
We're here back again. Another episode.
Another one.
How are things? How was your week?
Another one.
What's that?
DJ Khaled.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Week is good. You know, I'm big into football right now.
Sports.
Yeah. So
Talk about This is the Man episode, right?
This is the man. We talk sports.
We did a part 1 and part 2. We just talked about sports for the sports ball for the next 20 minutes.
We had someone the other day we were talking to, and they were like, I was tired of talking about football and all this other stuff. I want to talk about some real stuff. I was like, man, I love football.
What's wrong with you, man? You want to talk about fantasies?
I love football.
I love me some football fantasies or fantasy football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about relationships because guys kind of suck at relationships.
Well, hold up. Are we done? We're going to start the clock already?
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
No, hold up. I still got to check in.
Hold up.
Come on, man. My week's been rough.
Oh, yeah. How's your week, dude?
It's okay, actually.
You all right?
I wanted to tell you this, though. Something I learned this week. I saw this on the internet, so you know it's real, and it's true, and it's completely factual. But this neuroscientist was talking about the psychological sigh. To our viewers out there.
Here we go.
Here we go. So, I do this thing often. I'll walk down the hallway at work. It's usually be the first thing in the morning. And all of a sudden, people will hear me coming. You know why? Because I go like this. It's the big sigh.
It's the same sigh that your wife gives you when she gets frustrated that you left the countertop open or something.
Listen, I'm sorry that your wife gets upset with
you.
She
gets so upset with me. She goes.
So I do this big sigh. And for a long time, I thought to myself, do I do this big sigh because maybe I'm just trying to get attention? Because I'll put out that sigh. I'm like, why was I so loud with that? And I'm like, I don't even want people to know that I'm walking down the hall. I don't want people to know that I'm so tired or whatever I'm feeling in the moment. And then, finally, the evidence is out there.
What did it say?
The deep sigh is the quickest way to relieve stress. And I thought to myself, once again, Jesse O., you're on to gold. People would criticize you for years and years for your deep sigh, but the deep sigh, it just was my way to relieve the pain that I was dealing with.
The deep sigh sounds like the finishing move for Just-tastic.
That's right.
Yeah. The people's sigh.
The people's sigh. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting because I do that a lot.
You're under a lot of stress, bud.
Aren't we all under a lot of stress?
Yeah, I guess so.
2023 here.
Yeah. And you manage it by sighing. It's almost like
there's hope you have you should have other ways.
It's like if you were a whale, it'd be your blowhole. It's like
if I had a chance to shoot water at the top of my dome, I'd do it. But I'm not a whale. I'm just a man. Speaking of the man, we can start the clock. You want to do this?
Yeah.
Time sessions. Here we go. We're on the clock. At the very beginning, we did something called The Man, episode 1. And we wanted to dive into men's issues.
There's a hot one, too.
Men. The hot ones. Yes. Wait, what?
There's a hot episode.
Yeah, it was a hot episode, right? It was a hot take on men. But we wanted to talk. It's important for men to be real and to be honest and be genuine. But here's the thing. When that comes up, who should I talk to? I ain't got no friends.
Yeah,
so
you don't like to talk about men, huh? Like you don't like to. I feel like that man episode we did, you weren't very happy. You were like, I don't know if we should. I had to convince you to let's do this. Maybe it was too early, or
no,
it was our second episode.
That was so long ago. I don't remember a lot of things, man. So I remember what I had for breakfast, but shit, I actually don't remember what I had for breakfast. What was it? Anyways, that's not important.
Yeah.
But what
let's talk about men. Why is it so hard for us guys to build relationships, like close
We're
relationships.
talking friendships here, close relationships with friends, with men.
We just had a group where a bunch of guys, we were talking about like real connections.
Promote that group real quick.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys, we want to invite you to join the Empowered Circle. It's a group for guys. We're going to talk about relationships, friendships, marriage, emotional development, emotional resilience, all the stuff that we need to empower ourselves to just be
When
be
is the
men
next?
of value.
When is the next meeting?
Our next one is I don't know when this is going to be released, but we do
Let's
it
just
once a
say-
month. We do it once a month. If you want information on it, though, just send us. Just say like, hey, I want to join the Empowered Circle, and I'll send you the invitation for the next meeting.
What's your link? Your Mr. Therapist?
Mr. Therapist on Instagram at mrtherapist.mft. You can find me at manny@mrtherapistmft.com. That's my email.
There you
My
go.
phone number is just kidding.
Mm.
But yeah, just reach out to us. Put it in the comments below. We'll find you, man. We'll find you.
There you go. So look at that.
Yeah.
Little plug.
Little plug.
So so we talked about, you were talking about that. We had a meeting with a bunch of guys,
Yeah.
and we just talked.
We talked. Yeah.
But
Held space.
like, how do we find those group of guys?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very refreshing in that activity or that group, because those guys seemed all pretty willing to talk about those things.
Yeah.
But why is it so hard to develop friendships with men as we get older?
Yeah.
Because initially, it's served on a platter a little bit, right? So we go to school. We need to, like, as kids, we're being introduced to like social settings, how to like interact with other kids.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the start, right? So, and that's why it always surprises me when people are like, "Man, I've had this, my childhood friend." I'm like, "You still have friends from your childhood?" Like,
Yeah.
because a lot of things in life change, you
Yeah.
move, but like to have those long-lasting bonds, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, why is it so hard for guys to get friends?
I think for me, it like if I answer, I think I can really give you a best answer if I answer from my experience, because it is hard for me to build friendships, and I think part of it starts with the family, right? Like in my family, it was hard for us to like my parents' relationship is my model for what a good relationship is, right? Whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, but what a relationship looks like. And they didn't have a very good relationship, and so I think that's kind of where it sprung out. It's like why it's so hard. Like I think for me, it's like it's hard to be honest about something I'm struggling with, you know what I mean, or to trust that my friend is gonna give a shit about me sharing something that's hard. Yeah, maybe I'm struggling in my relationship, or I just had a really bad day and I want to cry, or I'm really angry. Like to trust that my friend is gonna have space, care in their heart to want to hear me out.
Do you feel like you have friends for like different things? Like in the sense, like
Yeah.
you'll have some friends you can be like, hey, I can talk to them about like, I don't know, let's say I could talk to you about the Chargers and football and sports. I have other friends, just like different categories of friends,
Yeah.
and then some friends you're
Different
just kinda
levels.
like, yeah, we don't really. Are those really friends though? Because what do you want? What do you want in a friend?
To care about me, to give a shit, Yeah. I think like me and you've been really good friends, and I feel like even this is an interesting dynamic to explore, because even before this podcast we would probably talk maybe a
That's
handful of times a
That's
year.
on you. I just want to let you know.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would go through stuff in my day, and I wouldn't think to call you and to be like, hey, I need to talk.
Which is interesting, because I think for us that we actually work in the field and we go to like we consult like when we're struggling with like underlying issues when it comes to like working with clients, and you're pretty vulnerable in
Yeah.
those type of settings, and we work in like men's groups where we are talking about some very vulnerable, traumatic, deep discussions, but like it seems like it'd be easy for us to turn that on. But
Yeah.
did you feel like that wasn't, maybe because it wasn't just as present, it wasn't so
That's what I was
readily
thinking.
accessible? It's
Yeah,
kinda
like
you have to pick up the phone to do that. you know,
exactly.
so-
It's almost like saying like, I want to read a book, but I never go to the library, right? It's almost like I'm not putting myself in a place where I can open up, right? Like if maybe I should, if we had more times where we could meet intentionally just in case we needed to open up, right? And like put ourselves in that type of a situation. But I think as guys, like for me anyway, like I don't prioritize myself that, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think I could just stuff it down or deal with it later or find a different way to talk about it. Or maybe it's just my pain isn't like, it's not that important. It's like, come on, stop being a little bitch. Like, let's just keep going.
Why do you say that I don't like talking about, you said I don't like talking about men?
Oh, because you had a hard time, not a hard time, but like I had to convince you to talk about men the first time. You were like, I don't know, I don't like it, but
yeah, I here's the thing. It's probably, I do like to talk to guys. We've covered this in the past. Like, it would be nice to have more like closer connections with men, and it's ultimately me. I tend to like favor like, and a lot of guys I talk to are the same way. Not everybody, but often guys feel a little more safer talking to women at times because they're more on the vulnerability tip. Not that men can't be, and particularly like what we do, like we're around men being vulnerable all the time. It also based on like things I said, my upbringing with growing up with sisters and not having my dad as present, stuff like that. So I like talking about men. I like to discuss men's issues, maybe, but also on the subject of like, developing friendships with men. I think maybe too ultimately, like a lot of the times I work in the field where there's more women than men at times as well. So it's kind of, I'll say this as a guy sometimes. I love women, working with them. I can, I benefit the same from a woman than a man, but there are times when I kind of want that guy time.
Yeah,
I could be sitting in an office with like a bunch of women, and I'm just kind of like, and this is my own shit, but I was like, I just need a break from this. Maybe I just want some stupid, goofy, like, I don't know, maybe I just want to talk about fantasy football, or if I want to just shoot the shit about like a dumb TV show. Yeah, like it's just like sometimes, and that's where the connection with men is really important for me, because there are things with a man like, I wish there was a dude here, because it's just, there is that I gravitate.
I have conversations with friends like that are fun, that they're not deep, but there would be the guy time that I would be.
That's necessary.
Yeah,
too.
It's like we talk
That's
about like, I don't know, we talk about like stupid shit like fucking dicks, or like, like I don't know, we talk about farts, we talk about dumb stuff, but
farts.
Yeah, and
channeling my inner child, or
I also think
my child. Yeah,
that for a lot of guys, like having a close relationship, like saying things like, "Dude, I love you, bro," or like giving even a hug, like there's a reaction to that of like almost like, is this a homosexual thing to do? Is this gay? Is this like, like I feel like a lot of guys maybe are averse to some of that. Sometimes.
Well, I read this in an article you referred to me discussing, kind of reading up a little bit on what we're talking about today, but we gender relationships as feminine. Mm-hmm. And that's a quote I took from the article, is that like we tend to look maybe sometimes as, I don't know, like our relationships, I don't know, I think people, when I say, I do this exercise with clients is, and one of the, I go through these questions, like a questionnaire, Q&A, and one of the questions I asked them was like, how have the significant relationships in your life been impacted? And most people will start talking about their significant other, whether it be maybe their relationship, more intimate relationship, their spouse, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend. They'll that's the relationship they focus on. And then I'll be like, well, what about like friends, or what about like, family? But we go right to that more significant, intimate relationship, because I think when I say, are you having an intimate relationship with somebody, they're going to think, well, as for a guy who's straight, I'd be like, well, intimate, yeah, with my lady, yeah, all the time. Like, it's like, no, intimacy is this. Is you and I talking and being deep and on the topic of conversation. So I think sometimes we look as relationships as, I think I get that quote like a little bit, is like it's more feminine to have a relationship. So guys do things on their own, right? Yeah.
I think too, like when you're in a committed relationship, you got a family, it's hard to make time for your friends. You know what I mean? It's hard to, like, we're on different levels sometimes. It's like I got 2 kids. I barely have enough time for me and my wife. Like having that guy time is sometimes not a priority when it needs to be, because the health of your relationships, it impacts the health of your overall mental health and your well-being.
Something I wanted to ask you, or talk about is that often people will say, my wife is my best friend. My wife is my best friend. We'll say it just like that.
Yeah.
And I've heard that before. And may I say, I believe your wife is not your best friend.
Tell them.
Your wife is not your best friend. Your wife is your wife. She's your companion. She's your partner. She is a friend.
Yeah.
But she shouldn't be your best friend. Because this is...
What is that called? A bold opinion or like unpopular opinion?
Is
right?
that,
I don't know.
does
But
that
it's
catch
like
some
a Twitter statement right
here we
there.
go. Finally get some trending on this by me being a little controversial. But no, what I mean by this is that I think a lot of times we think our partner is enough and we don't need other friendships. And listen, for me, to be close with somebody, there has to be that commonality. There has to be a friendship. You and I have probably both been in relationships where it was maybe more physical and it was more based on attraction, but that shit runs out. That's not going to last long. That doesn't have legs. I mean, they can carry you for a little bit, but like
not till your 80s or 90s.
the shine can go pretty quick. Yeah. So some personality, some like connection, those things are really important. Yeah. So and I'm not saying like the person that you're married to right now, that's the case. I mean, I hope that you're always in love with your wife or your husband, whoever's listening to this, and you find that attraction.
I think what you're saying, though, I like what you're saying because I think a best friend is like, if we're ranking it, right? It's like you got the people you see on the street that you say hi to. You got your acquaintances, you got your maybe like distant friends, close friends, best friends, and then you got your marriage, right? And I think marriage and relationship or wife or whatever, it should go beyond best friendship. Like you should be able to ask your wife to do things for you, like massage your feet that you're not going to tell your best friend to do. I don't know. That was an example that came up in my head.
Bro, you rubbed my feet right before we started this podcast. Why are you getting all weird?
Yeah. Yes, you have great feet. And or you could ask your wife, like, hey, like, like, I need you to pick up the kids. You don't ask your best friend.
I'll tell you
that,
what, right now, nobody's going to rub my feet. I can ask my friends. I can ask my wife.
My wife won't rub my feet, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe my boys will. I don't know. Can you rub my feet?
I said no. But you were saying,
I think there's levels to that. And so I think best friend falls right below relationship because it's like I can tell you things. I can tell you even things that I won't tell my wife, right? But like, but I don't know. I think I want to depend on my wife or be able to lean on her in a more than I would a best friend. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's just me. I'm sure it's different for everybody.
I think that by saying my wife is my best friend, though, is putting more responsibility on her, like in some ways. I think it's important. It also limits us, though. It's like, well, like, yeah, this is my best friend. This is the person that, like, we're really limiting our options. And what I mean by that is like our support. Mm-hmm. It's like if we're not developing friendships, which can be very hard as you get older. Once again, if you have more responsibilities, if you're married, job, kids, all that stuff, like you start to lose like some self-care. But like having outlets like friends, I think it's extremely important. Yeah. And expecting our wives to check all those needs, because
it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. So that's why I think it's important to separate that. You most definitely want to have a good friendship with your wife, or like I said, I think that shit's gonna go sour eventually. Yeah. But I think that's to say, like, my wife is my best friend. Sure, she could feel like she's probably the best person in your life, and I hope that she is. But get some fucking friends.
Yeah, for people who struggle like connecting with other guys or finding those friendships, like what are some things people could do, I guess, to like build
friendships?
Yeah, build friendships.
I mean, so I think to build friendships with men, for as guys to build friendships, I don't know, how do we do that though? Like you can go on, you said I can go on Grindr, which I started to look that up and I realized like that's not a friendship app, man. That's not a friendship app.
Well,
I mean, I got a lot of likes and a lot of interest and people wanted to do things with me, but not the stuff that I was really into, But like,
yes.
But I think about this movie called I Love You, Man with Paul Rudd. Have you seen that?
Is that the one you wanted to take me to?
No. That's the movie Bros.
Yeah, you were really advocating for me to go see Bros
No,
with you.
I wanted to take Manny to go see this movie Bros. It was led by gay men, and the movie was just about like gay men, and it was a romantic comedy led by gay men. So I thought it would be hilarious to take Manny to this movie because we're just we love the gay community. That's all I'm gonna say. But like no, I just thought it'd be just funny to be like fuck with him and see how uncomfortable we would get in the movie.
He did.
But so the idea of but the movie I'm talking about is I Love You Man with Paul Rudd.
I did watch that. It's good.
Okay, yeah. So did you really see it? I feel like
I did. Paul Rudd and the guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
There you go. Yeah, there's a theme there. So in the movie, he's getting married, and he has no best men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, I guess my brother would be. I kind of felt like
Dude, I felt like that in my wedding. I felt like that, too,
actually.
Yeah.
Obviously. Recently, I was looking at, I was like, my people at my wedding party. And the people I had at my wedding party was like.
You about to talk shit about them? Like
I would eliminate some people.
They were the worst of the worst.
No, but it's just like, I was like, some people, like, it's a real easy, like, call, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I feel like I don't have a lot of guy friends. I feel like I think I do have some. I guess it's more quality than quantity for me.
Yeah,
which is okay,
so
man. And maybe that's me kind of just saying that, so it's okay not to have a lot of friends. But anyways, back in the movie, like in the movie, he has no best man. Like he might use his brother or his dad, but he doesn't really have a lot of friends. And even there's a part, and I kind of copied Paul Rudd by saying like, I need to find some fucking friends, but. He's like, there's not a friend dating app, and he's going on all these outings to try to find a men's friend. But like, it is like kind of challenging that you can't just go on a friend app. There might be a friend app for dudes. I'm not sure. We should probably have like.
It's probably like meetup.com where you can go do things right with people, or.
I guess, but then right, isn't that already like an awkward thing? As a guy, I'm like, I'm gonna go meet a bunch of other guys.
It can be, but like the guys are going for the same reason, so it's like
maybe some things once again.
I think it's uncomfortable.
That's what it is.
And are you willing to get through the uncomfortable?
I would. I think that there's probably some things that are more. There's a stigma to more things than others.
Yeah.
If somebody says, "Hey, guess what, guys? We're coming over to watch like the Lakers play tonight," and there's a bunch of dudes over, I might like strike up a friendship with somebody there. But I guess I'm thinking about like putting myself in that scenario. If there was a guy there that I really liked, like this guy's so cool. I don't know if I'd be like, yo, bro, can I get your number because I want to hang out?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do that. Like, I'd probably have to see him somewhere else and then be like, yo, bro, I don't have your number.
Well,
like,
I mean, it would be weird, right, if you did that in the first meeting, but like you got to take some time,
dude.
Tell
me why it's weird then.
It's just forward. It's just forward. Yeah,
okay,
it's just it's creepy, dude.
So it is creepy.
No,
what if
it's
I'm
not.
Like, dude, like you're so cool, man. We should hang out.
It's creepy if they think it's creepy, right? Like, but like, what if they're cool with it? Like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it.
The stigma, though, right? We're trying to break the stigma, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I need to check myself. I'm at this Laker game and I see somebody that's cool. I'll be like, yo, man,
give him your number.
You're cool, bro. Let's go get some brunch.
I'm gonna put your number on the bottom of the screen so people could just call you.
Yeah, at the end we're gonna just text me. Text me yes, text me no. If you wanna be my friend, but like
check the box yes, no. Like
I think that the idea of building friendships is something is taking a step into that vulnerability and trying it on like almost putting a new pair of shoes on, but like and see if it fits. But I think that it is just putting yourself out there, trying new things.
There's a good book too, by the way, that I'm thinking of. It's called you probably heard of it. It's old classic book. It's
the Bible.
The Bible, and it talks about friendship. No, it's how to win friends and influence people. Have you heard of the book?
I have heard of that book.
Yeah.
I think they made a movie out of that book.
Yeah, I've read the book.
Okay.
I don't know. I've read the book.
Fuck the movie.
But there's a lot of good strategies on there. It's like how to compliment other people, or how to like most people, they feel good if you talk about them or ask them questions about them or feel interested in them. So a lot of building friends is like learning how to interview people or like ask people questions, like how to show someone interest, right? Like, and that's what it comes down to. So it's, I don't know, that's a good resource for people that want to look into that.
What's the time here on the time sessions?
It's time, bro.
It's time. Check it out. On this time sessions, we introduce you how to make friends as man.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And we talked about it, and it's not weird. You're right. It's not weird.
It's not weird. Yeah, you kept saying it was weird for me to talk to some dude at the Lakers game.
I think I have something with the word weird.
You do.
Yeah, I just like to say it a lot.
Weird to you is once
Yeah.
again it's
It's like interesting. Like when a client opens up about something really like drastic, I'm like, that's so weird.
yeah. So
But I
weird
really
is-
mean it's interesting. No, I'm just kidding.
But interesting, yeah, it is another word as well. That's kind of like we're kind of minimizing an experience,
Yeah,
and we should just be okay with like what we are, and we're friends.
we are friends, brother.
All right, man.
Can we do the? Oh,
It's been a minute.
oh, that was rough.
You hit me hard.
That was good.
All right, man. I'll see you next
See
time.
ya, man.